Are you ready?
Let's go.
All right. AI screening or gut instinct?
Gut instinct.
He told me AI optimizes for mediocrity, right?
If you are an early stage founder, you need somebody exceptional. And you can't screen for mediocrity.
What is the worst advice you got for your operations?
One of the worst decisions I made around technology, I bought this piece of software that allowed me to do video interviews. That sucks. You are soulless just sitting there looking into a computer screen and trying to talk about why you want to work for a company that's not even talking to you.
This episode is made possible by SaaStanak 2026, where SaaS meets sea and sand.
So in this episode, we have someone that I actually met last year, and
You start like that every single
yeah,
time.
because I met a lot of people last year.
I met this guy last.
Drank a lot of wine last year.
We
Oh,
drink a lot
right.
of wine last year, and that's the reason why majority of people don't remember me.
I bet. So how do you meet people here if you don't really drink
I
that
don't know.
much?
To me, it's like meeting new
On the
people,
run.
especially on SaaStanak, is like super easy because you know my personality. I'm a crazy extroverted person who just likes to talk to people, and that's why I always kind of have that advantage there. But today we have someone who is, I think, covering one of the most important things when it comes to growing and scaling a SaaS, which is
Let's see.
has a lot to do with hiring. So let me do the introduction for you guys. Chris Gannon thinks AI will never make the hire that actually matters. He's the founder of Captivate Talent, a 9-year-old recruiting firm built on placing the sales and GTM leaders that high-growth startups bet their next stage on. And he's here to defend why the decision on who you hire is still a human's job. Chris, welcome to the special edition of the Monkey Business Talk Show here in Šibenik on SaaStanak, where SaaS meets sea and sand and SPF. Welcome.
Sand, SPF, some wine.
Some wine as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
How you been
Welcome,
doing?
welcome, Chris.
How was the first day?
The first day was almost perfect outside of my luggage not making it with me, but outside of that, I can't complain. Just had to adjust some sizes from Europe to US and figure that out.
Yeah, it's 3 days program, and it's super hard to keep up with all the parties that they're making. And I'm always asking the guests, like, how are you feeling after the party? Because after the workshops and everything, you may, like your cognitive load may lower down, but party is the problem.
Is it a problem?
Luckily, I'm at the point in my life where I made a good decision last night with a shot of tequila in front of me, and I said, "You have a podcast to do tomorrow, Chris. Don't take that shot of tequila."
You'll actually teach me how to do that next year because
Maybe
I failed.
tonight.
Yeah.
But I have nothing I have to worry about really tomorrow. So
Yeah. It makes perfect sense. You've built Captivate on the line, genuine relationships that technology can never replace. 9 years in, is that bet aging well?
that bet has compounded. So we made that bet that recruitment and a great company is built on great relationships, and we've doubled in size over the last 2 years. Our revenue grew by 72% over the last year.
Despite AI?
Despite AI. AI's helped. They've given us some tailwinds too. They've allowed us to scale without always adding headcount, which is really important too. But at the end of the day, people still need us. A lot of people need us.
That's really good to hear. There's something here that we kind of took away from you. And you said that a lot of people who understand that squishy stuff that can't be turned into zeros and ones will go far. Define squishy.
You said that to me on our call.
So squishy, like when I think of like when you're engaging or interviewing a person or when you're thinking about hiring a person, we focus on the go-to-market side. So how are you really detecting some empathy of a customer success leader that's going to take care of your customers in times of trouble or challenges or needs? How are you defining and finding, is this salesperson, do they have the charisma to be out in the field and meet my buyers? Are they going to gravitate towards them now in a time where brand and relationships and personality matter so much? When we think of like marketing, like, is this the person on an interview where you just start having a conversation and you're thinking of then big creative ideas aside from just assessing what they've done in the background, like that's the squishy stuff that you really have to uncover in a person and figure out who they are as a person. That I think it's hard to find on an AI screen or an automated review of their resume. No one's going to get that.
But walk us a little bit through the memory lane. Was it like that like 9 years ago?
Yeah, so look, I mean, when I look at recruiting, again, I'm old enough to make some maybe wise decisions at night, but old enough to also see a couple iterations of recruiting. I started in like 2006, 2007. The market was hot. Then 2008, we had a big recession and everything cooled down. But there was also something that happened. This thing called LinkedIn came out. And when LinkedIn came out, a recruiter's superpower was they had a Rolodex. They had like, I truly remember days where people would lock their filing cabinet because that's where they had all the files of who worked at what company and who was where, because no one knew that. And LinkedIn democratized all that in an instant. Everyone then knew where everyone worked. Recruiters were going to die like in the next year because LinkedIn came out. The only thing it did was enable us to move faster. People had access to something that we used to only have access to, but we were able to adapt to that tool, utilize it, and then run so much faster than people had the same tool, but it didn't matter because we knew how to use it. AI just feels like the next iteration of tooling that's out there for us to use and amplify our ability versus take away from what we do.
Speaking of candidates, and that hiring process, that empathy, those things, the squishy things.
Yeah.
Like, are they the same factor they've been like 5-6 years ago, or even greater or less important? How the technology and the process changed that, or did it?
I think those things are more important, actually. When you sit in any of these talks at any of these conferences, and God knows I go to a lot of them, nobody's talking about like how you deploy an automated email system anymore. Like that was like a couple of years ago, everyone's like, watch how you can email all these people at once. Great, like everyone has an inbox, everyone looks in their inbox and there's a bunch of garbage in there. Where are people making deals? They're making deals in person. They're trying to find ways to build communities. They're trying to find ways to do, like now everyone's like, oh, let's host dinners. Like we were doing that 9 years ago because we're a services-based company that's commoditized, so we have to build relationships. But now our friends on the technology side of things are taking our playbook. So like, oh, we have to have a brand that is unique, that people remember, because our products are going to look the same.
Yeah, they're
because
gonna
people
look
could
the
just
same.
build so quickly now, and having like great engineers isn't as important as it was 10 years ago. So like, how do we differentiate? How do we build deeper relationships? How do we take care of our customers and limit churn? Those are the things that are really important. Those are the squishy things.
Yeah. When it comes to the interviewing, how do you identify those squishy things with the candidates? Like, what are the questions you would ask someone to get the most out of them, to identify, or is it just a hunch?
It's going to be such a squishy answer, and like a technical founder is going to listen to this, their head's going to
Yeah.
explode.
Yeah.
It's like, give me the question, give me the answer.
It's the star.
So
star.
it's not necessarily, there's questioning and you want to dig through somebody's history and what they've accomplished and everything, but it's years of learning what to listen for and listening for signals on how they are talking through their numbers, how they are talking through their track record, how they did handle a challenging time with the customer. Because anyone can give you the right answer, but how are they presenting that answer? How are they framing that answer? What's their body language look like when they're talking about that answer?
It's super hard for a recruiter or someone to spot on because there are so many applicants, for example. And back in the day when I was searching for a job and everything, I hated the interviews where they would literally just walk me through the list of questions. And they took some information from me and learned something about me, but no one actually met me.
Yeah.
And that's I believe that's one of your differentiators among the others.
Well, those people are probably really worried about AI right now in
Yeah.
recruiting, and that's why people like me are really busy right now. Because we have to, as third-party recruiters at an agency, like we have to understand who a candidate is, understand what's important to them, understand if they align with what's important to our client all in one first interview, and really dive deep with them, and then maybe have a follow-up call or with them, and then we have to present them to a client. So we have to assess everything for them because it matters for us, because that's how we make our money. So we can't just walk them through, these are the 7 things about the job, are you interested? Because that might not be someone who our client's interested in. So it's really important that we get to know who they are, what drives them, what's important to them in their next job. It's like selling features versus benefits. Like if we just get on, you were sold features. Oh, here are all the things. well, what's important to you? Like, why? What's your motivation for your next move? Is it because you need more stability? You're about to have a baby, you're relocating, your partner just got accepted into a master's program. Like all these factors really tie into like what someone's motivations are. And it's really hard to get that from like a resume scanner or an automated 10-minute AI interview. Like you're not going to get that out of somebody. So if you're looking for critical hires as you scale, you can't, there's no shortcut.
Yeah.
If you're looking at like hires that don't mean much, or you're just looking for bodies in like a factory somewhere, maybe you can get by with AI to hire.
And which element of your process you are using AI?
So when we look at our team, you know, about a year and a half ago, when everyone was talking about this AI thing and trying to figure out how to use it, we thought of the 80-20 rule. Regretfully, in recruiting's like sales. There's a lot of administrative stuff that happens. There's CRM, there's updates, there's notes, there's things you have to send to a client, there's documents you have to put together. Like, it's an enormous amount of time spent on things like that, about 80% of their time, which means our recruiters were only spending like 20 to 30% of their time doing the things that really mattered, which was talking to amazing candidates and helping our clients, like FaceTime with them. So our internal mission was, how do we flip that? How do we hire these people? We have amazing people that work for us. They all have great personalities. People love working with them. How do we optimize them to be out in front? And then we take all that other garbage off their desk. So when we look at AI, it's how do we deploy that on our recruiter's desk so all those little things are getting taken off their desk that they have to do administratively, process like putting together files, job descriptions, whatever it might be, so then they can go be out in front.
Do you use AI in screening the CVs that come into you
So
for job applications?
AI, our recruiters headhunt. So they go out. They're not waiting for 100 applications. And the problem with AI for applications is like it's screening for the perfect resume. Well, guess what candidates are doing? They're using AI too to build the perfect resume and then apply to all the jobs. So we hear from clients, if anyone's like, oh, we posted the job, we got 1,000 applicants. We can't even get through them. And even if you use the perfect tool that scans for the perfect resume, well, that resume is built to be perfect. So like, is that actually representing the person like it was maybe 10 or 15 years ago? Or is it just is it mimicking just the job description? I mean, the recruiting trick used to be like, oh, write your resume for the job.
Yeah. I mean, getting a job is a skill. Like there are people who are skilled and talented in getting jobs and they're good at it. What I'm interested in is on the flip side, you have a founder in 1 to 5 million ARR and they need VP of marketing. They know what they need in terms of marketing, but they don't know what they need in terms of personality. How do you identify what they need?
Every founder is different. Every founder has different strengths and weaknesses. So it's assessing like where that founder wants to go in the next 12 to 18 months, and then reverse engineering not only the job description, because it might be misaligned. They might say VP of marketing. VP of marketing can mean 100 different things. But also understanding the archetype, like who the person is that's going to work really well. They might be a super hands-on founder that like needs to be involved in every decision. Like there's people that are great in that type of environment. They might be like, hey, you have 100% autonomy. I'm going to give you enough rope. And if you don't succeed, it's on you. People thrive in that type of environment too. So it's really understanding who the personality type is that's going to pair well with that founder. It's like dating.
It's like you're basically matching a lot of things while you're recruiting for your clients and for the people that you're recruiting into the company. It's not just, okay, is this person fit for the job description? It's like, is this person fit for the environment, for the stage, for the founder, and people and the culture you're going to be building with?
And if you actually like think about like dating, it's like, oh, what's your type? Like your type could be like 6 feet tall, brown hair, brown eyes, works in this. But like if that person, they could look like that, but if they're not your person, they're not your person. You're not going to like marry.
So the answer is astrology.
We do use zodiac signs too sometimes.
We are hiring VP of marketing and sales, and this is the salary and everything. But what is his zodiac? Or her? It makes perfect sense. I suggest that maybe you move into the hot take here.
Yes.
3,
2, 1. Hot take. In our prep chat, you told me AI optimizes for, well, we came to this similar conclusion while we were talking. It optimizes for mediocrity, right? And you obviously are not hunting for mediocrity. And the best that matters is the choice, the bet. That matters is the one probably that AI doesn't tell you to make, but you make that decision. Your firm published a piece arguing the future of sales in AI native operations are AI native operations who use AI as a thinking partner across every deal. Help me square those. Where exactly does AI augment, and where does it actually make you worse in your job?
AI is trained on consensus. It's trained on taking all the information and making consensus out of it, which means it's giving you a very safe answer. But when you think of early stage to growth stage hiring, like the people that are going to be your catalysts, your difference makers, like they are usually not the safe hire. I actually reflected on this. I wouldn't have been hired in my first job if I was screened by AI. If there was any sort of screening, a requirement for my first job, I don't actually tell many people this, was I needed to have a college degree.
So what was your first job?
I worked for a company called Michael Page.
Okay.
It was technically my second job out of school. I went to college for 4 years. I never walked. I never finished. I had credits left. I decided it was time for me to go get a job and start working. Michael Page at that time had a policy that they would not hire people without a college degree. And a managing director sat there and looked at me and said, I've never hired somebody without a college degree, but I'm going to take a risk on you, so you better prove me right. 7 years later, I was leading one of their fastest growing teams and walked out of the company as a success. If AI was involved in that process, I wouldn't even have made it past the first application.
And how many times in a day or a week your recruiting team is actually making the judgment call and making a decision? Okay, so this person doesn't really 100% meet requirements. There must be some requirements set by a founder or a company, but I really think they could be a good fit.
Every day. Every single day. We have this thing, there's no such thing as like a 10 out of 10. You have the 10 things, there's a very low, I shouldn't say there's no such thing, there's a very low chance that perfect person that meets all 10 of those requirements and has the exact personality fit that you're looking for is going to exist and be ready to make a move for your company at that time. But there's probably an 8 out of 10 or even a 9 out of 10 out there. So if it was just an AI filter, every single candidate would be rejected. And again, I think you'd miss some of the biggest difference makers for your companies. Like, who are the ones that took risks in their career and then will take a risk on your early stage startup? Well, guess what their background probably looks like? A little jumpy, because they are the ones that have taken risks versus worked at like Oracle for the last 9 years. That person's not going to make a difference at your startup. The one that's worked with a crazy founder that had an idea that crashed and burned once or twice and now sees the vision that you're laying out for them, that's the person you want to hire, but that's the person AI is probably going to filter.
How many times did you have to sit with a founder or whoever is posting a job and speak to them and say, listen, that's great. Like the what you're looking for on paper is great, but hear me out. Like what are the negotiables here? This is what we're going to do, and this is what we're going to pay attention to, because this is what we think might be a better fit.
How many times?
Like every day?
Every day for the last 9 years, twice on Mondays. Literally, look, that's part of our job. Part of our job is taking the founder's vision around what they're trying to achieve with this hire and helping just to make them realize what reality looks like a bit.
That's what I was aiming at.
It's like when you hunt for a house. Like, you could say you want to live in a certain neighborhood and you want the pool and the 2-car garage, but you might not have the budget for it.
Like, do you really, really, really want it?
Or the house might not be on the market. That house just might not be built in that neighborhood that you want to live in. So there's a reality of what actually exists and helping the founder realize that reality. Is that my hot take? That wasn't my spicy take, was it?
No, it's totally fine. I wanted to ask, what's the worst use of AI in hiring you're seeing right now?
Because that's kind of connected to the hot take. Hot take is that AI is making things better / worse.
Yeah.
It is. There's an opportunity there.
There are arguments for both sides. Your approach is human approach, and it makes perfect sense only if you're delivering the results that you're after. You're meeting the candidates. You are actually working on figuring out those profiles, and you're matching them. People on the side will tell, yeah, but you can automate this and that.
Yeah.
So my question there would be, what is the worst advice you got for your operations that someone gave you like with full confidence?
I know that one of the worst decisions I made around technology that was like maybe foreshadowing a bit with AI. This was years ago though. I was a head of talent for an employee engagement company in London. And I bought this piece of software that allowed me to do video interviews. So the candidate would sit in front of a computer screen. There'd be 7 or 8 questions. And this is like precursor to AI. And they would get prompted and they would answer the questions. It would record them. And then when I was on like literally the treadmill at night in the gym, could sit there and thumb through the interviews and watch them. And I'm like, this is great. I don't have to get on calls. I just watch these people.
I get to the gym.
And my CEO kind of approached me, Chris, our number one value is be human. He goes, how are those interviews going? And I'm like, they like kind of suck. And he's like, well, do you think all the candidates suck? And I'm like, no, some of them looked pretty good, but they're like just disappointing. He goes, well, what do you think that experience is like? And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
like that sucks. Like you are soulless just sitting there looking into a computer screen and trying to like talk about why you want to work for a company that's not even talking to you. Like that engagement level was so poor. Like you're never going to get the best of somebody. You're never going to find out the squishy stuff. You're never going to attract the person who is really great, because somebody who's really great doesn't need to do that shit. Like someone who's really great isn't going to go through that process because they have people knocking on their door. So you're never going to get somebody great. You're going to get somebody mediocre. And if you want to hire mediocre talent, knock yourself out.
But a lot of
Good luck.
recruiters will tell you like, oh my God, but like I have so much volume of CVs and people coming to us to talk to. Like, is the real game in hunting for talent volume, or really you need to knock on people's door and you engage and hunt for the talent?
Network, engaging, knowing where to hunt, knowing who to hunt, understanding where somebody is in the market, understanding the connections and relationships that person has. Oh, you were at that company at that time. AI can help us with that. AI can help us identify where people were at certain points of their career, but our job is to still go get them.
A founder is listening to this and making maybe their first go-to-market hire next week.
Oh boy.
So they have an AI screening set up, thousands of LinkedIn profiles and CVs, and the budget for only one role. What would you tell them to do?
Stop. You have created a tepid and mediocre process that will only yield you either super desperate or super mediocre people. And look, it's really hard to say that because people are people. Like you can't like just look at, there are jobs for everyone out there. And if you are an early stage founder hiring your first go-to-market hire, you need somebody exceptional. And you can't screen for mediocrity. You can't hire mediocrity. So if somebody could be a great 5,000th hire at Oracle, and they can do great in that environment because there's a lot of processes, there's a lot of systems, there's this brand name that's built for them. So their ability to succeed is already platformed up. But if you're an early stage founder, you need somebody exceptional to do that job. And then you need to go find somebody exceptional.
I have often conversations with C-level executives and founders, and we talk about hiring quite a lot because it's so crucial for your company destiny. You're dependent on the talent that you bring in, and not just early on, but almost every single stage you're in, right? And I'm pretty obsessed with hiring talent. I love to talk to people and understand where are your strengths? Maybe in 10 years we connect. I don't know. Maybe I hire
hired
you.
me back in the day.
Maybe
She knew your strengths.
She's good.
and so on. But what I want to say is the hiring process is not just the job of a hiring department. Early on, you don't have a hiring person or a hiring department. It's a job for, I think, every single executive out there.
It is the founder's number one job. An early stage founder, if they are not obsessed with people, I don't care if you're a technical founder, because like you can't use that as an excuse. You have to be obsessed with people. It is the thing that should be keeping you up at night because
What if they can't talk to people?
That's
You
my
help.
angle, yeah.
No, well, a lot of our customers are technical founders, so we really help them translate that story out onto the market of who they are and give them a lot of coaching about how they present in interviews. And we're like, look, you got to do it. It's like giving, cough medicine to a child. Like they don't like the taste of it, but it's gonna make you better. It's gonna make you feel better, and if you're not doing it, you're going to lose because that is the only thing that's going to differentiate you right now. Is like who the founder is, because they're going to come work for you. So if you can't get out in front, if you're hiding behind an AI screen and like thousands of LinkedIn applications, you're not going to win.
Imagine the big, large companies, that already built a process around hiring people, right? And AI is screening, AI is doing this, AI is doing that, and then we just filter through thousands of applications and speak to only, 10 or 50 or whatnot. The value they're adding to their company and the level of competitiveness, let's say like that, it's just going to diminish, I think. And it just people need to rethink the way they're automating the recruiting processes.
Look, I'm sure Mark Benioff's probably listening right now.
Hey, Mark.
Keep doing it first. Like, knock yourself out. Like, one bad hire is not going to screw up Salesforce. Like, it's not that critical for them. Like, they're big enough to make missteps, so they can use tooling. They can optimize the hell out of their process. Their HR team, their talent team could sit back and not have to really worry that much about every single hire being massively critical. But like, if you're under 50 people,
Yeah,
if you're
extremely.
You're going from 1 to 5 million or 5 to 20. If you're expanding into like maybe the US. If you try to mail that in with like an AI platform or a recruiting marketplace, like you're toast. You're toast. And like you might get lucky and prove me wrong, but like stats say you're probably going to be one of those that fall on the other side of it.
Let's say the way to go is to spear hunt, headhunt.
Yeah.
And
Sniper hunt.
Yeah, sniper hunt. They know they need someone. Should they go headhunting or asking someone from their own network? Do you know someone who's maybe doing this? Which path is smarter?
I'm a little biased, so I'll always say like headhunting, of course. But actually, I agree with network first. So we always tell founders, like, have you talked to your network? For two reasons. A, we don't want to engage them, start working with them. They're like, oh, by the way,
Just found this
my
guy.
friend's brother's perfect for this job, and I just forgot to ask him. Like, that's like a waste of time. But B, like, your network is the first place you should look as a founder. You should activate it. You should dig through it. You should have a couple of conversations. Because worst case scenario, best case scenario, you find that person. You don't have to pay me any money, and it was really easy because they came from somebody you know. Worst case scenario, all those conversations, all those coffees are going to allow you to form a better vision of what you need. Because you might think, oh, this person looks great. They're from Gong. I can't wait. And then you sit down with the VP of marketing at Gong, and he's like, I need a budget of $50 million. And you're like, did you say 50 or 50 million? Because I have 50. So that will help you form a better consensus of the type of person you hire. So then if you go engage like a headhunter, you already have done some of the pre-work that they're going to do. The right one should be doing with you.
The problem that I see when you start asking your network and your friends is that you often don't specify well enough who you need and what you need it for. What would be the right questions they should ask there?
So look, this is where AI could be really helpful. You can have a lovely conversation with your friend Claude. You could talk to them about like, hey, here's what I'm thinking. Here are the gaps in my company. Help me like form a rough job description. Now, Claude, again, is going to give you some safe consensus. They might give you some things to placate to you because AI likes making us all feel so good and nice. So they might create something that potentially doesn't exist because what's stopping it from Frankensteining it? Oh, you want a marketer that can code and is going to do sales and could also like lead product? Sure, let's build a job description for that. You can get Claude to do that for you. But the reality is then you call a recruiter and the recruiter's like, you're insane. That doesn't exist. We call it unicorn hunting. People are like, I want a unicorn. And I go look at them and I go, how many unicorns have you ever seen in the wild? There's a reason why we call it a unicorn. It's because it doesn't exist. Not because they're hard to find. It's because they don't exist. So you just have to be really careful. But I think going out to your network is still really important.
Okay, and that network told you, hey, I know this guy, he would be amazing for it, for exactly the thing you're in. Give us a small, like 5 things checklist, how founders, technical founders, or any actual founders can spot a true A player.
True A player, do they have a track record? Who are they being referred from? Are they being referred
From the
from
network, yeah.
Yeah, like, so who is referring you that person? Is that person an A player?
Yeah, if it's your mom, that's probably not an
No.
A player.
This is
Yeah.
often overlooked, very, very important. Is that person that's referring you it also an A player? Do they have are they the person, when you call them, they get called for a reference, say,
Yeah.
and they're like, maybe I'd rather not give a reference, or maybe they politely decline or say, yes, they worked here, or is the person that's like, oh yeah, they were great. I fired them, but they were amazing. So really, really check who referred you that person and where are they coming from, because they might be an amazing person. They just might not be your
work.
amazing person.
Yeah.
So dig in deep, because I think the channel someone comes through is incredibly vital. And then also look at where they scaled. If you're an early stage company and oh gosh, I worked with this amazing person from my Snowflake days. Okay, what Snowflake days? Was it like Snowflake when they were like trying to figure out what Snowflake was, or were they like
3,000.
Snowflake when they were 150
Yeah.
million and like it's not
a
even,
different snowflake.
yeah. So like really dig into stage. I think stage fit is often overlooked because we get enticed by sexy brands. Like every founder makes this mistake. I've made this mistake. Or like,
It's a
ooh,
very common mistake.
they worked for
yeah.
this company. They must be amazing. But we miss all the resources, all the brand power the people had at that company, the lift that company gave them while they were working there. They might be amazing, but they might not be amazing for you.
True. The stage is very important. Like when you look at my history, I work for Infobip. It's like the first unicorn here in the region. They're like 2-3 billion revenue company right now, 4,000 or 5,000 people. I don't know how many, but I worked with them when they were a startup, like 150, and within a year they doubled and 300 people. So I worked in a very different Infobip.
Your function was very, very,
Very
different
different
from even
there.
that year of scale.
Exactly.
So it's really important that you understand.
I think
what they've
I
done.
wouldn't work at Infobip today.
Yeah,
Definitely not.
Totally different company now. Yeah. Absolutely.
I saw. I think.
Sorry, Silvio.
Was it? Yeah.
Roberto.
Was it a TikTok or something? The guy made a CV, and he designed it to like for those logos and of the companies to see how it would pass for some. But it says like he was janitor at Google.
Yeah.
And then janitor at Microsoft, and he just kind of spit out some slop underneath and everything. It passed well enough to cause a surprise for everyone, but that's kind of the thing. I think those mistakes are actually where AI makes the mistakes. Google, like, if you work for Google, Google has like 50,000 employees, if not even more. Like
Much more.
that, yeah. But that's the thing, like.
I think founders have to realize for every tool that they could use and in hiring and AI and everything like that, there's a counter out there that candidates can use. So like, it's like the Spider-Man meme where everyone's like pointing at each other or everyone has like a gun at each other. Like everything that they do is just going to get countered. So like, it's not going to help you like win. You can't take shortcuts around people.
What does job hopper mean to you?
So job hopper, it's completely subjective. So when we work with clients, after we do a kickoff with them, we calibrate with them right after we do the kickoff the next day. And one of the things we calibrate for is what somebody considers jumpy or a job hopper. Because again, it's somebody could be, well, they've been at a new company every 3 years. And I'm like, this is a startup. That's like a decade
Yes.
at every company. This is startup land. Somebody's like, oh, okay, they worked 1.5 years at every company. That's fine. Like those, it's very opinionated. So we try to define with each one of our clients what that means to them and what their tolerance to that is, because we think some of the best early stage startup people are the ones that took risks that didn't work out. They are the ones that also have a higher aptitude to risk now. So they will endure maybe some more challenges than a candidate who's not a job hopper or deemed as a job hopper or jumpy. So again, it's super subjective, but it usually just means somebody who's been at a couple stops in a shorter amount of time.
The next one.
Yeah, definitely. The signal.
The signal.
The signal.
Chris said the differentiators going forward will be relationship building, human-to-human interaction, brand, who's selling to you. Others are so hyped about the agentic future and the agent-to-agent sales. What's the role of the salesperson, let's say, in that world?
Look, there's this dark future. If we build a fully autonomous sales process, I'd argue, what the fuck are we even selling? Who are we even selling it to? Do companies even exist? Like, that is a path of the future that could happen. But then I think no one has a job. Like, there will be a couple of AI overlords and investors that made a lot of money, and they will be able to control the bunch of us that have no jobs, and we're all on universal basic income or dystopian future. So, like, yeah, could we have sales agents just sell to other procurement agents that just humans out of the loop? But then what are humans even doing? I hope that doesn't happen. I think humanity will sort itself out and evolve through this. As for now, though, salespeople are incredibly important. Like, they are the thing that can make the difference now. Where it used to not matter, you could just do the outbound campaigns and say, my widget's better because I have an ex-Meta engineer and we built this thing that's going to take our competitor 2 years to build. And we're just better because we have a better feature in our product. That's not going to exist anymore. So what salespeople are going to be the critical influencers that make somebody make a decision between this one and this one. They look the same, but which one should I buy? The one that I like more. The one that has given me more confidence as a brand. The one that maybe invited me to that awesome dinner or sent me a gift for my dog. Like, those things are going to matter more and more and more because it's going to be hard to differentiate products from each other. Sorry, I took your water.
It's all right. They're the same, by the way. Let's move to the rapid fire questions.
So it's gonna be a rapid fire. Either you're gonna be under the fire or you'll be causing the fire. This or that. There's no none.
No
There's
in
no
between.
both. There's no. It's just this and that. You have 5 to 10 seconds for each one, but I think you're gonna do just fine.
Can I defend an
Yeah.
answer? Can I defend an answer or an opinion?
We'll see. Are you ready?
Let's go.
All right. AI screening or gut instinct?
Gut instinct.
Hire fast or hire right?
Hire right.
Empathy or judgment?
Empathy.
Resume or referral?
Referral.
Culture fit or culture add?
Culture add.
The safe hire or the wild card?
Wild card.
Raise the bar or fill the seat?
Raise the bar.
LinkedIn or your own network?
LinkedIn should be your own network.
Founder-led sales or hire the VP early?
Founder-led sales, because if you can't sell your own product, no one else can.
All right. Overpay for A players or build B players into A players?
Overpay for A.
Let AI interview candidates or laugh at joke you didn't hear, then get asked to repeat it?
Do not let AI interview your candidates. You're toast. You are toast if it's.
All right. So it's laugh at your own joke you didn't
Laugh at
hear.
your own joke.
Then ask
We have
to
another
repeat it.
one.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read through some short statements, and you say, is it overrated or underrated? Rated.
Yeah.
So start. Cover letters.
Overrated.
Culture fit interviews.
If they're at the beginning, underrated. If they're at the end, overrated.
Take home assignments.
Overrated. Everyone just plugs them into AI now.
The rock star or 10x hire.
I hate Rockstar. I just cringe. Ninja, Rockstar, Unicorn.
I was actually called a rock star
Rockstar,
hiring
we're
one of
hiring
the
a rock
stars.
So please keep going.
You could be called it.
Okay, go. Hire for a pedigree. Big name logos on the resume.
Neither.
Okay. Counter offers, underrated or overrated?
Underrated.
Unlimited PTO.
Overrated. It's all. It's a shtick.
Okay, the 4-hour panel interview.
Oh. If designed right, underrated.
LinkedIn as a sourcing tool.
Underrated.
Referrals.
Underrated.
Gut instinct in hiring.
Underrated.
SaaStanak 2026.
No, I'm just kidding. Underrated.
That was that.
Thank you,
so
Chris.
much, Chris.
It was a true pleasure talking to you, and we wish you to enjoy the rest of the SaaStanak, and hopefully
can't
we'll see
wait.
you next year.
I'm so excited. I'll see you next year. I'm done now.
Yes,
You are.
awesome. Thank you.